All right, this is interesting. How can I deal with a cyber squatter? A few days after I filed for a trademark on soccer site doctor, someone registered the domain, clearly in a bad faith effort to profit from the trademark. My name is Andrei Mincov. I'm the founder of Trademark Factory, and in videos like this, I answer questions like this. I've answered hundreds of questions, and if that's something you're curious to learn, trademarks, branding, marketing, intellectual property, entrepreneurship, make sure you subscribe, get notified whenever the next video goes live. And meanwhile, this is my answer to this question. All right, first of all, really bad idea to pick a name that you can only own either as a domain name or as a trademark. Usually, when you work on picking a name, you want to make sure you can do both, right? If you can have a domain name, which is more common situation, but you can't get the brand trademarked, it's a bad brand, because it means a brand that you can't grow, it means a brand you can't own, it means a brand you can't stop others knocking off from you. So simply being able to have a domain name without trademarking that same brand is rarely a good idea, unless you can get a domain name or something so generic, so short, so memorable, that the domain name itself is going to be really valuable. But in most cases, really bad idea. The opposite is also true. If you can get a trademark, but you can't get a domain name, usually means that you will be losing a lot of business to people who think that they know your brand, they go to the domain name that reflects the brand, and they'll be giving their money and attention to somebody who's not you. So that's always also a bad situation, because again, you end up with fractured branding. You end up with a situation when you can't fully utilize the brand that you came up with, even if you get a trademark on that. So when you brainstorm your brand, first thing you want to do is check, is the domain name available? Second thing you want to do is get a trademark search done by someone who understands how to do trademark searches, to confirm to you that the brand name is registrable as a trademark. And assuming you got both yeses, right? You got the domain name that's available, you got a trademark that's available, get the domain name and file for a trademark. Really, that's what every successful business does. They do their research, they get domain names, they get trademarks early on, usually before launch, before anyone has a chance to steal it from you, before anyone has had a chance to see what you're building with a brand, before they get a chance to get some silly ideas about registering those first and then going after you for money. So that's the ideal situation. Here we have someone who registered a trademark, and then a few days later, well, they didn't register a trademark, they filed for a trademark, they applied for a trademark, and then several days later, someone got a domain name that reflects the same brand. So first of all, how did that happen? When you file a trademark, all of that information, all the filing information becomes public. The new trademarks, they're all out there. The name who owns it, out there. Address of the person who owns it, out there. So all of that is public data. And there's a lot of people out there who use various forms of software to monitor who files what trademark in what country, and they can take action based on that, right? If you filed trademarks before, for example, in the US, usually you'd be getting spammed by all sorts of crap just because your email is there. So we file trademarks for, obviously, for a lot of clients, and most of our clients want us to use our email addresses so that they don't get spammed, and we get so much of it you wouldn't believe. Also, we get not just spam from people who get access to the database. We also get spammed by all sorts of law firms that want to sell us their services. Say, hey, I see you filed a trademark. Do you need help with that? No, we don't. We're going to take care of our clients ourselves. Don't worry. But the reason I'm mentioning this is, again, this is public information. Once you file your trademark, it's out there. So let's say, so now we know how they got wind of that, you filed for your trademark. So someone else saw that and they went out and got a domain name. And when they got the domain name, what can you do? There's this procedure called Uniform Domain Name Resolution Policy, UDRP. What it does, it allows you, it was invented really specifically for situations like this when you're a brand owner who has legal rights in the brand, and you notice that someone else registered a domain name reflecting a trademark in bad faith. So what the procedure allows you to do is start an administrative procedure. So basically all domain name registrars in most second level domain names like .com, .net, .org, and like I said, most of them are part of this procedure. So all registrars agree that if a trademark owner raises a complaint that their trademark is being used through bad faith registration by someone else, registering a domain name that reflects their mark, they will cooperate with several providers who will adjudicate cases like this and decide whether in fact the domain name was registered in bad faith. I've got a longer video that talks about UDRP. Got a book about this, actually a book I wrote in Russian while I was still a lawyer in Russia. But the long and short of it is this: if you can prove that the person registered the domain name in bad faith with the sole purpose of either reselling it to you or preventing you from reflecting your brand in a domain name so that you could have a website that allowed you to make use of your brand, then this procedure is exactly for you, unless they can show some legitimate reasons why they had the right to the domain name, you'd probably win. So the way it works is, and the one I recommend, the one I've used several times, is WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. You pay them, I think it's $1,500 to initiate the claim that you filed a complaint, and basically say, here's my trademark, here's why I got legal rights to it, here's what I've done with it. And I noticed that 3 days after I filed my trademark, this person filed for a domain name that fully reflects my trademark. There's nothing happening in the domain name. Actually, if you can prove, if they reached out to you and offered to sell the domain name, great, right? This is proof of bad faith. If you type the URL in the browser and it says that the domain name is for sale, great. It's exactly what you're looking for as confirmation of bad faith. Usually, it's not a good idea to reach out to them and say, hey, would you like to sell? And if they say yes, it doesn't necessarily prove bad faith. Your job here is to figure out, how do I prove that it was bad faith other than the timing, right? If they can come up with a plausible story why they independently of you got the idea for the same thing that they wanted to reflect in a domain name, they might be able to get away with it. Also, what matters is where you filed your trademark, right? It's one thing if you filed your trademark in big trademarking markets, US, Canada, European Union. It would be different if you file your trademark in some obscure jurisdiction that the cybersquatter wouldn't know about. The other thing to look at, whether, again, I've no reference here But so you mentioned so once again, soccer site doctor, right? I don't know what that means, right? So if, for example, it wasn't even your idea, maybe someone else mentioned it, right? Soccer site doctor, and you picked it up from someone else. Just because you were the first to file a trademark doesn't necessarily mean that the person who got the domain name didn't come up with it first, or you didn't come up with it independently. There's some back and forth that you could expect if they were to have some plausible story as to why they got the domain name somewhere else other than by stealing your trademark and forcing you to buy the domain name from them. So check out UDRP, Uniform Domain Name Resolution Policy. Again, we've got a longer video that covers this topic. Also, check out WIPO, W-I-P-O, Arbitration Mediation Center. They've got a lot of materials. They talk about getting the domain name from cybersquatters who register those domain names in bad faith. See if that's a good fit for you. In theory, you don't need an attorney to represent you through those proceedings. It could be a good idea to have someone with experience to draft those. And again, the good news about those is that they've published thousands and thousands of decisions on what constitutes bad faith, on what constitutes legal rights for claimants, on what defenses they've got, and what you have to do, what they have to do. But the great thing about UDRP is that it's fast. It only takes a couple of months. You know, your costs are limited to just the $1,500, unless the other side requests three panelist option, in which case there may be slightly higher cost. But either way, it's going to cost you many times less than a normal trademark infringement litigation would cost. So consider that. And one thing you could do, you could write to the other side and say, hey, I know what you're doing. You stole my brand. I'm going to get it from you. And one thing they could offer you is to buy the domain name from them at a cost that's going to be less than what you're going to pay to WIPO. That's a way to deal with it, because again, if they offer it to you for, I don't know, $500, $600, I know it's still upsetting, it's still annoying, it's still frustrating, but at least you're getting something that you want for a cost that's less than getting it through UDRP and certainly through court would have been. So, and again, use this as a lesson. You want to be able to reflect your brand in both the domain name, the trademark, most important social media profiles, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, whatever, all those platforms. I don't know what's going to happen with all the antitrust and all the different things that are happening to the social media these days. But what you want to do is, when you come up with a brand, you want to make sure that you own the brand and you do whatever it takes to get as much real estate online, offline, so that you can preserve your legal right, enforce your legal right, and expand on your legal right. That's how this works. I hope you found this video useful. And if you did, make sure you like it, comment. If you have any questions, subscribe, and let me know if you've got any other questions like this that you would like me to answer. Once again, my name is Andrei Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and I will see you in the next video.
Get it,